I remember back in the day filming a moonshot for Guardian, one of the films that we made back in the day, and it was an extraordinary effort to get it to look like the moon, which was basically I had to shoot it against a blue sky when it was still daytime, and then filter all the blue out and composite stars into the shot, and voila, we got a natural moonshot. But no, Samsung's got another thing coming here, Steve. I have to enjoy this. Like, we'll talk about computational photography maybe after we've talked about this, because I think this is a broader subject matter in terms of what's a photo today, in terms of what your smartphone's taking. But it's fascinating that the Samsung are touting these features. So in this case, it's the periscope zoom that's in the S23 models, and I think they've had in their last couple of models. I can't be sure because I don't use them, but I understand it's been with the Samsung phones for some time now, and it's great. I thought the 100 times zoom was really just about capturing something to prove that you caught it, as opposed to it being an artistic, photo, because, you wouldn't get the detail or whatever. And now, this whole thing about are they overlaying some AI of data set of the moon over the top of the shot so you can get a better shot? It yields a good result, but obviously it's led to a backlash of, well, it's faked. In other words, like you're not actually capturing the thing for real. And that's why I don't know what you think about all of that. We'll talk about it in context of the computational photography stuff in a minute, but I mean, it seems to me like if this was going to be a feature, they should have just said so.
Oh, I totally agree. I think it's just marketing, not really understanding any of the technology and thinking they had to lie as usual about a particular feature, for whatever reason. I can't believe they didn't come out and just come out cleanly with it, because it's, unless they wanted to keep it a secret from their competitors. But what a great idea. The moon is tidally locked with the Earth in terms of rotation, so we see the same face of the moon whenever we see the moon. And as you get to computational light photography, really all I imagine that the algorithm is doing is recognizing certain features very poorly sort of illuminated in our Earth photos with a Samsung phone, and overlaying the features that we should be seeing perfectly. I think that's a marvelous feature. I think it's a great piece of technology. And I think that the people in marketing should have a long, hard look at themselves.
And I think that it would have just been a non-story if they just said in the, when they were announcing the S23 or whatever, oh, hey, this is what we can do with it, and no one would have said anything.
Look, the thing is every phone release, irrespective of the manufacturer, everyone bemoans, oh, there's not really a step forward, it's not very exciting. They could have just come out and said, we've got this algorithm, you can take moonshots all night long, and everyone would have gone absolutely mad for it.
Especially if they provided the ability to switch it off, if for the people that want apparently the pure photo experience. But that's
for the people that want the fuzzy little white dot that doesn't look anything like the moon.
Exactly. But it does bring up a broader point around computational photography in that when you're taking photos with any smartphone, and I'll use the iPhone as an excellent example of this, is it actually what you're taking? Because what, as I understand, happens is that as soon as you open any of the camera apps, it's already cycling through and taking shots, and it's already trying to figure out what the best composition for that photo should be, lighting, white balance, and whatever. And a classic example of this is that, I get, from time to time, some really good color sunsets off the balcony here. And I'll go, oh, great, I might pop out there and just take a snap. And I go out there, and as soon as I open the camera app, for about a second, the color matches what I'm seeing with my eyes, and then all of a sudden it changes, and it dulls out, and it just doesn't look interesting. And that's part of what it's doing. It's sort of like, all right, okay, we need to kind of balance this out, make it look as normal or natural as possible, depending on what, in this case, what the iPhone's decided that should be the best representation of that photo. So then the question becomes like, if you're not controlling that, I mean, I know there are apps that you can put on any of these phones that has a lot more manual adjustment if you want to go down that path. But for the average user, they're only going to use the camera app, and what are they getting? They're getting like predetermined, sort of aesthetics in their photos by an algorithm, which might only be okay if they blatantly advertise, okay, you can turn that off if you want. Yeah.
Well, that's it. I don't think they do give you the option to turn it off, do they? I'm not sure. But look, to me, this is just an extension of our modern world. I would go and look at any photo on the socials, any selfie on any of the socials. There'll be a filter across them. It's not really a real photo, but we've got so comfortable with that. Now we just extend it to any shot at all. And I've got to say, the optimization on the iPhone's pretty good. Do I mind? No, I don't care, because I don't really take my phone seriously as a camera. Maybe that's because I'm old school. But by the same token, gee, am I glad I'm not messing around with manual controls, especially on a phone with a fairly second-rate lens on any of the phone cameras. Trying to get something that looks good. And also, I'm thankful I don't really need to spend much time applying filters now, thanks to the new algorithms. So I think as long as everybody realises that every photo they're taking on their phone is pretty much fake, then there shouldn't be any problem. But I don't think that any of the manufacturers are up front.